Hello, this is Big Jacob Jenkins reporting a story about a boy who loved hip hop, and rap at the same also. Here we go. Once there was a boy who lived in a city known as Hip Hop City. This boy name was Eddie. This boy's name was Eddie Eddie Lewis. He was a black boy. He was a black boy who just loved all the hip hop music, even all the hip hop artists like Wiz Khalifa, Biggie Small, Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube, Houdini, all the old school and new school rap. And he's a great dancer. He also goes to a school called Truman High, called Dooman High, and he's also face to face with a bully who's also in love with him but doesn't know how to say it. But anyways, here we go. One time he was doing dance moves with his friends, even his best friend who is white. And even his best friend who's white. Right. His best friend name is Brett. His best friend name is Bradley. Anyways, Eddie Gordo just started doing a lot of dance moves, and his friend tried a dance move on his head, tried the spin moves on his head, and then all of a sudden he had his foot all out, and all of a sudden he just hit another girl in the butt. A girl who was also one of the bully's friends, and he and the girl just picked him up and slapped him across the face. One ace. So after that little incident, they went off and started having fart contests. They were seeing who would make the loudest farts ever. After school, they started walking home. Eddie Gordo stopped and looked in the window and saw a news report about a white man named Hector. A white man named Hector who said this: "I'm throwing a hip hop dance contest, and whoever wants to come out here and perform can do so as well. But if anyone from Hip Hop City does not come out here and perform and do this, then I'm gonna order Hip Hop City to be bombed. Everyone in Hip Hop City's lives will be in stake." Hey, believe that. And Eddie was in shock. "What's wrong with this man?" he said. This man's just got a screw loose, man. Man, this is just crazy, man. And as he wasn't looking, the bully who was in love with him snuck right behind him and pinches him right on the butt. Woo! Eddie says, and the bully just bent over, leaning on, and the bully just bent over, leaning on her knee. He laughed, pointing and laughing, and just and just ran off, bending over. After all that, Eddie went home and asked his dad, "Have you been watching the news, Pop?" His dad said, "Yes. Hip Hop City's gonna be bomb if no one from Hip Hop City doesn't compete in that hip hop dance contest. That's why I'ma do it. That's why I'm gonna do it, man." And but well, by the way, Eddie's father is black and his mother is white. And also, after Eddie said he was going to enter the contest, but his father was refusing him to go. So Eddie kept begging him and begging him and begging him until finally his father gave in and said, "Just be careful. Careful. They might try to trick you, all right? Eddie, you promised us?" Eddie promises and decides to go on his way. Eddie promises, and the next morning he went off heading for the ship, and then all of a sudden he saw his best friend Benji. Sorry. He saw his best friend Bradley there. He saw his best friend Bradley there, and he asked Bradley what he was doing there. "I'm going with you, man. I'm going with you, man. There's no way I'm gonna let you do this on your own. Besides, you always looking out for me, man. It's time I started looking out for you. So I'm gonna help you save this hip hop city, man." And Eddie, my man, there's no way this white man is gonna bomb it. Eddie says thank you. Eddie says thank you and decide and says thank you and they do their special handshake. And so they get on as they get on the boat, unknown to them, the bully and her friend followed them on the boat. But Eddie and Bradley hardly know it. However, Eddie and his friend were having a good time. Eddie and Bradley were just having a good time. Both having fart contests. Seeing who could do the loudest fart. And stuffing their faces at the food court and everything until they actually choke. And they choke. and also having a race. They were even racing on the rails on the ship until all of a sudden both Eddie and Bradley both fell on their ball sacks. Ooh. They were doing all that and the girls are secretly laughing at them. They were doing that until finally they arrive at the town. They arrive in New York, where the tournament was being held. And so they meet up at the building where that evil white man was. And the evil white man explains the rules and everything. And as the fireworks went off in New York, the tournament began. And Eddie Eddie Gordo and his friend won a lot, won a lot of matches, just up, won a lot of matches, just up until this point. This point. Up, unless they won so many matches, until they kept on winning until finally they made it to the semifinals. They made it to the semifinals. They were now semifinalists. As they were going to the hotel where the semifinalists stay, they decide finalists stay. They heard a strange noise from the bushes. They yelled, "Yo, who's back there? Hey, yo, who's back there?" There. All of a sudden, the girls fell. All of a sudden, the girls fall out of the girls fall out of the trees and land on their heads. Heads. The girls' names were Emma and Cynthia. The boys asked them, "What are y'all doing here?" We decided to follow you because we just wanted to see the hip hop tournament for ourselves. Oh, it's okay. So the boys tell them to go back home, but they were refusing. But the girls were like, "No way, we're staying with you." The boys were yelling, "No! Oh, no, go on home. No, go back home. Home." But the girls were just refusing and begging them. "Look, I want to stay with you." The girls were like, "Look, I want to stay with you because because I just want to see the hip hop tournament. I want to see the semifinals. Come on. You gotta let me stay. Please. You gotta let us stay. Please. And finally, the boys just came in and yelled, All right. Wait. Just don't get in the way, alright? And so the girls follow the boys into the hotel. Hell. And signed them as their guests. And so the boys, the two boys, so Eddie and Bradley and the rest of the semifinals, and the rest of the semifinalists have dinner in the place hotel where they're staying at. And as they were having dinner, they could see that the girls were not really eating, and the boys wondered what was wrong. And then after eating a lot, they decided to go work on some dance moves. And the girls asked, "Can we go with you?" At first the boys were about to refuse, but they remember what their mothers say. 2 wrongs do not make a right. So they said sure. So the girls taught him some good dance moves and danced the night away. And just danced the night away. A night away. The night away at the dance party for the semifinalists. So, and then after it got late, they went up to bed. The boys slept in the same room with the boys. And the girls slept in the same room, but in different beds. The boys slept in one bed together, but in different beds. Actually, the room had 4 beds, one for each one. And so the boys asked them, "Why weren't you girls eating? Why weren't you girls eating? You girls look kind of sad." And the girls told their story. That when they were younger, you know, both the boys and the girls, they're both like 10 years old. The boys are both 10 years old, and so are the girls. And the boys, when the girls were younger, like 5, they were abused by their parents. Their dads were always spanking them, and other stuff. The girls were all, and the fathers, the parents never the fathers never celebrated the girls' birthdays and everything. Talking about that story made the girls cry. So the boys cheered them up. By having fart contests. And making funny faces and everything at the girls. That made the girls laugh so much. That made the girls laugh so much their stomachs were hurting. And then the girls realized they packed some tacos for the boys. They gave the boys their tacos, but the girls just remembered. They put spicy jalapeno peppers on those tacos. And the boys can't have spicy stuff because it makes them too gassy. But the girls were about to stop them, but they were too late. The boys ate up all those tacos, and then all of a sudden they started boom, farting really, really bad. They both even had bathroom accidents, stinking up the room and everything. It was crazy. Finally, the semifinals went on. Finally, the semifinals started. It came on. The semifinals started, and it was so awesome. It kept going until it came down to Eddie and Bradley, and Eddie ended up winning. And finally, Eddie was about to face Heck, the white man that wants to bomb Hip Hop City. And so they do their best. So Eddie Gordo and the man start dancing, but the white man was like a hip hop king, And Eddie was doing good too, but he just couldn't get, but he just wasn't catching up with the man by points. Points. The man was still getting more points than him. So the man was like, quit wasting my time and surrender. At first Eddie was, but the bullies and his friends say, no! Don't give up! Do not give up! Give up. You can beat him! Sure. Beat him. You sure he knows more moves like you, but you beating dancers tougher than this. Or than this. That's all of Hip Hop City's counting on you. Your best friend is counting on you. Your father's counting on you. I'm counting on you. So win this with all of that hip hop spirit. With that encouragement, Eddie got right up and started doing and the dance contest continued. And he started doing a lot of dance moves that the white man didn't even know about. And Eddie Gordo ended up winning the whole thing by getting he won. Eddie Gordo won the contest by 1 point. By 1 point. By 1 point. And so Eddie, and after that win, Eddie Gordo yelled, now keep your word, man. Leave our city alone. But the man was not going to keep his word. He was going to bomb Hip Hop City. That was no fair. That was no fair, he said. I'm not done yet. This city is toast. It's toast. What? Hey, man, you breaking your promise, man. I don't ever make promises, sis. Promises, said Hector. You shouldn't lie. You see, I recorded the whole conversation on the news. Will you mind your own business? I'm done here. Bomb the place. And just when he was about to bomb Hip Hop City, some kind of mechanical force field came up. His father was an expert in virtual technology, so he built a force field around Hip Hop City, just in case the white man tried to cross him. Then all of a sudden the cops show up. All of a sudden the cops show up and say, Hector Moss. Hector Moss. I have a warrant for your arrest for filing counterfeit paperwork, said the police officers. You're also charged with murder in the first degree, and unlawful entry and unlawful bombing. The man gets arrested and Hip Hop City was saved. Eddie and his friends go back to Hip Hop City. Finally, Eddie was popular. As Eddie was popular there, and he was smiling. As they were going to school, as they were going to class, the bullies stopped him. And they asked, remember what I said? Ed, Eddie, Bradley, remember? Oh, well, actions speak louder than words. So the bullies grab Eddie and Bradley by the shirts and kisses them right on the lips. Right on the lips. Lips. And also his father was right on the lips. Then after school, well, and then at the school, they were doing hip hop moves and everything. And then the same thing happens again. Bradley was doing that spin move and hits the bully's friend right in the butt. At first, he didn't. She didn't slap him at first, but then so Bradley hits her a sigh of relief, but then she does a quick turnaround and slaps him right in the face. Bradley goes down, and everyone and Eddie and the girlfriends just bent over and laughed, and laughed. Just bent over and laughed. And that, everybody, is the story of Hip Hop City. The end. Hit subscribe to hear more stories. And I'm hoping to have this story made into a cartoon movie one day. And it's for everyone who loves hip hop. So if it's made into a cartoon movie, be sure to check it out. This is Big Jake. So this is Big Jake signing off. Peace out.